and we're in live as a Channel 2 ABC newscast.
Good morning, New England. I am here reporting from the site of our top story. Hester Prynne, the adulteress, is due to serve the last part of her punishment today. For those of you who don't know, that means she will be publicly shamed on the scaffold. Here she comes. She is approaching the scaffold. Her clothes are so beautiful. Let us see what the townspeople think of their local sinner. Hello, ladies. What do you think about Hester Prynne?
She's a brazen hussy, and a skinny one too. Needs more beef and ale in your diet, if you ask me. She has good skill with a needle, but she really chose a strange way of showing it. Look at her gown. She should be stripped of it. I should give her one of my own rags. It would be more fitting.
Her punishment is not enough. She should be branded, or better yet, hanged.
Oh, peace, neighbors, peace. Well, there's not a stitch in that embroidered letter, but she has felt it in her heart.
Mistress Prynne, a word with you, please? How do you feel about all this?
Could this be happening? I see my entire life before me. My happy infancy, my native village in old England, and my paternal house. It is a decayed house of grey stone. It has poverty-stricken aspect of it, but it is still its nature and thick gentility. I see the face of my parents, my father's beard, my mother's loving smile. They're both gone now. What do they think of me? Are they ashamed? I was once so full of girlish beauty. Truly, I seemed blessed. The letter has changed everything.
Do you hear the crying of the adulteress's baby?
She squeezed herself, as if to hide the scarlet letter on her chest. But then she seemed to realize that the child and letter are one and the same.
I wonder what the life of the child will be like, with no father and with an adulteress as a mother. Hopefully she doesn't grow up to be a sinful brat, a child of the devil. Excuse me, sir. What do you think about the public shaming?
I pray you, good sir. Who is this woman, and whenceforth is she set up here for public shaming?
You must truly be a stranger, else you would have heard of Mistress Hester and her evil doings. She has raised a great scandal here in godly Master Dimsdale's church.
It is true that I am a stranger to this land. During my sea voyage here, I had made a grievous mishap and another one on land. I have long been held in bond by the heathen folk that live in the Southland, and have now been brought here by some Indians so that I can be redeemed out of my captivity. Will you please tell me of Hester Prynne? Is that her name? Tell me of her offenses. Why is she on the scaffold?
Well, my friend, you have come to a village where iniquity is searched out and punished publicly. Yonder woman was the wife of a learned man. She came from Amsterdam. The learned man sent his wife forward and planned to follow soon after. It has been 2 years and Master Prynne has not arrived. That woman there is his wife.
The learned man should have learned this from his books. Good sir, who is the father of yonder babe? Should he not also be standing on the scaffold?
Madam Hester refuses to speak his name. The woman was supposed to be hanged, but considering her youth and circumstances, it has been deemed that Madam Hester simply stand on the scaffold for 3 hours and wear the scarlet letter for the rest of her days.
A wise sentence. Let her be a living sermon against sin. Nevertheless, it irks me that her partner in iniquity not least stand on the scaffold by her side. But he shall be known, he shall be known!
It appears that the ministers are about to start questioning Hester Prynne. Let's see what happens.
Hester Prynne, I have striven with my young brother here, under whose preaching of the word you have been privileged to sit. I have thought to persuade his godly youth that he should deal with you here before the face of heaven, and beside these wise, upright people. Knowing your natural temper better than I, he would better know what arguments to use, whether of tenderness or of terror, such as might prevail over your hardness and obstinacy. You should no longer hide the name of he who has tempted you to this grievous fall, but he opposes to me that it were wronging the very nature of a woman to force her to lay open her heart's secrets. Brother Dimsdale, the responsibility of the woman's soul lies great with you. Speak to the woman, my brother.
Hester Prynne, if thou feelest that thy soul's peace and that thy earthly punishment shall be made more effectual to thy salvation, I charge thee to speak out the name of thy fellow sinner and fellow sufferer. Be not silent for any mistaken pity or tenderness for him. For, believe me, Master, though he were to step down from a high place and to stand here beside thee on the pedestal of shame, better were it so than to hide a guilty heart through life. What can thy silence do for him, except to tempt him? It will add hypocrisy to sin. Take heed how they denies to him who has no courage to grasp it, the bitter yet wholesome cup that is now presented to thy lips. Woman, transgress not beyond the limits of heaven's mercy. Speak out the name, and thy repentance may avail to take the scarlet letter off thy breast. Never. It is too deeply granted. He cannot take it out. And but that I might endure his agony as well as mine.
Speak, woman, speak, and give your child a father.
I will not speak, and my child must seek a heavenly father, for she shall never know an earthly one. She will not speak.
What an interesting combination of sin and purity we have witnessed here today.
Yes, it was. It is doubtless that Hester Prynne's life will be changed forever. However, it is possible that this will make Hester a better person. Perhaps her sin has a positive purpose to play. After all, when no one knows God's plans, Hester can be among the select.
True. There are many ways that Hester can benefit society. She can raise her child well. She can put her impressive sewing skills to good use. And she could teach others what she shall learn from her own sin.
You're ready.
The entire ritual of shaming a person on the scaffold is very interesting. You might have noted that the scaffold is constructed that the sinner is above the rest of society and looking down upon it. Do you think Hester is figuratively above society?
That is an interesting point. I think that the positioning was fully accurate. If you look at Hester's beauty, self-composure, intelligence, and kindness, you realize that she is above most of society. However, she is still below the church officials, especially the pure Master Dimsdale. Hester is like the rosebush near the prison in her unlikely purity.
Speaking of Master Dimsdale, do you think that the Reverend was acting strangely? Why was he clutching his heart during his whole speech?
That's a good question, but I think he's probably just sick. Back to you, News 2.
Thanks. Next, Mistress Hibbins. Is she a witch and should we burn her? But first, these messages from our sponsors.
Having a sinful day? Well, buy a red rose today. It will help purify you and make your day much better. These red roses come straight from Massachusetts. They're hand-picked and brought straight to your house, but buy them soon while supplies last. This ad is brought to you by the Ad Council.